Everywhere we look online, it seems that phones have dominated the party culture. We're seeing video after video on Instagram, Reels, TikTok, whatever platform you choose to look at, where these massive events have taken over and no one's dancing and everybody's just filming the moment. Is this really a problem, or is the problem really a perception? Today I'm going to talk about it. I have a very controversial take and I'm going to break it down. I think most of the industry is complaining about nothing, in my opinion. I know some people aren't going to agree with this, but I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to break it all down. So I think most of the people are complaining that no one's dancing anymore. Everyone's just recording. The phones have killed the vibe. No one's enjoying the moment. I completely disagree with all that. Is it happening? Absolutely. Is it a problem? No. Where we're seeing this happen, and I'm going to say first, I'm going to break down the problem itself, and then I'm going to break down my reasoning. So first, where I think we're seeing this problem is the top 10%. Don't quote me on that number. I'm just throwing a number out there. Could be 5%, it could be 15%, but it's just the top marginal events. The biggest events that have pretty much gone from underground to mainstream. These events have gotten so big that it's either that the artists that are playing them have almost reached a celeb status in our industry, or that the events are so production driven that one of the two, and most likely a combination of both, have become so big that people are going to film for their memories and then naturally post them to obviously show off a bit to the world that they were there. Tons of this content, everyone's there for the same reason. Just like if you were to go to a big sports game or a big rock band or a big pop star, you want to film these moments. These things have become so big that they're all being filmed. And because that's the content we're being fed online, it seems like it's taken over. But in reality, if you go to small and mid-tier venues, it's quite the opposite. These venues have put more focus on local talent or small and mid-tier international talent that they're neither are famous enough to where the entire audience feels the need to film the moment. And also the production isn't the priority at these events because they don't have the budgets for it. They're smaller venues, so they're not doing massive LED screens with top of the line visuals, or they're not doing the most insane decorations, but instead they prioritize creating a great room, sound, and curating lineup for a vibe that will last the entire night. And because of this, there's very little to film, and instead people are going there with the intent to just have fun. They're dancing to music that they enjoy. They're living in the moment. A few people occasionally are pulling out their phones and recording the night and posting still. Like it's the same stuff is happening at a much smaller scale because because those artists aren't as famous, because the production isn't as appealing, that content doesn't go viral. And what in fact is actually happening is there's a psychological effect. The stuff where dancing still happening and phones aren't as much of a priority isn't making it to social media because it's not being as filmed as much. And the stuff we are seeing is being filmed fully by everybody, and everybody's posting it. And that stuff, because of the production, because of the video, because of the large status of the artist, that stuff's going viral. And it just seems like, because it's what the algorithms on these platforms are feeding us, it seems like that this has become an epidemic when in reality it is not. And the problem with all this is what you're seeing in the comments is everybody complaining about the phones being out, but most of the people complaining aren't going to these events. They have no desire to go to those artists, those types of events. Maybe they've aged out of culture and they're comparing it to what they remember. But in reality, the thousands or tens of thousands of people that are going to these events and filming it, they're obviously not complaining it. They're enjoying the event as is. They're not that concerned with the phones or the lack of dancing because they're part of that problem. And that problem only exists in that one little segment of this industry. The rest, the other 80% of this industry, parties are great, people are dancing, nothing has really changed that much. And if you're not seeing it, that's on you. Look up your city that you're in. Small cities might be a bigger of a problem, but if you're in major electronic music markets, there's plenty of small and mid-tier clubs and events that are happening where people are still dancing, enjoying the moments. In Miami alone, there's probably 5 or 6 small venues where you can go to any weekend and have a great party where very little phones are coming out. People are dancing, music is top tier, and you can look at this across every major city from New York, Chicago, LA, Berlin, Ibiza, it all exists. If you look beyond social media, parties are so fun. I promise you that. Get out more if you're not seeing it. I want to talk about the other side of it all. It's not that bad. Like when these brands get this big, one of the main reasons they don't really want to end it either is because this content helped their brand get big. So if they cut it off, it's kind of cutting off a free marketing engine that they have. And in reality, as much as everyone says it's hurting the scene, those sales really don't seem to be ending. These events keep selling out, and the people that are going with the intent to capture their moment. And I want to say that these are no longer parties. They're events. They're shows, actually. If everybody is just standing, staring at a screen or a production and watching their artist perform and they're not dancing, it's no longer a party. It's a show. And there's nothing wrong with that. As soon as you realize that there's a difference between a show and a party and you want to go out and dance, all you have to do is pick a party. Don't pick the show. Simple. Easy. Enjoy moments. It's good. I've been around a long time. Every generation, there's old, bitter ravers that sit there and say their generation was better. And there's a pros and cons to every generation scene. Absolutely. But the parties are still fun. I promise you that. If you're an artist looking at the future of your career, it's still bright. There's still people dancing. There's still people craving great music. And if you're a raver and you're watching social media and you're not going out because you think phones have ruined parties, I promise you, dig deeper. The parties exist that are still fun. People are enjoying the moment, and you could still capture a couple moments throughout the night and not ruin the party. We don't need to ban phones at clubs unless you're one of these promoters that are doing shows, or you're one of these artists that have become so big that, yes, you've become so popular, you may need to consider banning phones. Michael Beebe did it at Solid Grooves for a couple parties this year at DC10. Looked like it went off great, and at that level, I totally understand the need to ban phones, but I don't think it's a necessary thing across the board. Personally, if I'm going to an event, I have no desire to go somewhere that a phone is banned. I have a business, I have a child, I have a life outside of clubs. Having my phone locked up the entire night would probably give me so much anxiety worrying about what's going on if there's an emergency with my family, my child, or my business that I actually wouldn't be able to enjoy the moment. I think it's as simple as I said this entire video. Just pick the right parties and you'll have a good time. I wanted to address this because I do see this conversation coming up a lot, and I think people think that the entire scene has been ruined, when in reality, it's just the perception of what we're seeing on social media. This goes across for everything and everything, even things outside of this culture. Don't trust what you're seeing on social media. You're being fed most of the time a version of reality that somebody wants to show you. And I can even actually tell you this from my perception. As a promoter, I can have a party flop and maybe I'm 50 or 30% full. And I can even film that exact perfect moment right behind the DJ where I cut off enough of the dance floor and show the outside world that we didn't flop, even though maybe we did. It happens. Don't trust everything you see online. Go there, experience it yourself. The real problem isn't the phones, it's the places we're going. It's the places we're choosing to go. Remember what I said earlier, there's two things happening now. People are trying to call shows party when now there's a divide. 10, 15 years ago, it was only parties. Now there's both. Some things have transcended parties and have become shows. Some things remain parties. If you're going out for a night to enjoy an experience, maybe you go to a show. If you're going out for a night where you want music and dancing, go to a party. It's as simple as that. Don't think everything's being ruined. Enjoy the now. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks. Subscribe, like, follow, comment. It helps me grow. I appreciate it, and take care.